Hi, my name is Frank Elianson. Today we're going to talk about common sense for business leaders. And one of the things to think about is often in business we seem to be missing common sense in so many things. I'm going to give you some examples, but I think we're missing it in a lot of what we do. And I think the time is now to change that in business. And those that can drive that change, they're all sitting right here. We all have the ability to drive changes in our business, whether we see it or not. It's not always comfortable to drive change, but I think it's important, especially when we look at society today. So here's the plan. We're gonna have some conversation starters. Some of them will be funny. There'll be some sad too. And this is really meant to start that dialogue, because my view is we all have different experience. My experiences come mainly from customer service and customer experience. You'll have very different experiences. And if we put them all together, I think we can get some great views. I think in the business world and in the non-business world, we're too quick to try and block out other people. In business, a lot of times business tends to be about conformity as opposed to celebrating the differences that we all have, the true diversity of business. And so a little bit about what we need to drive change in is what we deem to be diversity. It's not just our skin, it's actually who we are, and bring the best of that out for every one of us. So this is just a conversation starter. We can continue the conversation anytime. You can tweet me. My Twitter handle is @FrankElianson. You can reach out to me via email, frank@frankelianson.com, or connect with me on LinkedIn. But most importantly, through all this, it's have fun. Have fun in even the business that you're in. If you're trying to drive change, one of the things I find to be a lot of fun is seeing that change happen. So you have to have a good time, even in those troubled moments. Because guess what? A lot of us like to say we love change. The reality is we really don't always. Change is scary. But you can also have fun with it at the same time. So here's a little bit about me. My background is customer service. I was credited with starting Comcast Cares and the whole servicing via social media. I have differing views than a lot of people on that topic. Happy to get into some of that. I joined Citi in 2010 in marketing. Currently, I'm the Global Director of Client Experience. I'm also the author of the book At Your Service, which is published by Wiley. Another book, Common Sense. You may not have heard of it, some of you may have. Common Sense was written by Thomas Paine back in 1776. It wasn't a full-fledged book, it would be what we would consider a pamphlet. It's about 60 pages long. It was written in a very plain language format, but it invigorated the revolution in America. And it was written really for anybody to pick up and read. It was simple. It looked at the history of the monarchies and how people felt that they were being served around the globe at different points. We often see these, deviations in the business world or in society today. We say the 1% and the 99%. It existed back then as well, and so the pamphlet brings a very human side to all that, and it makes it where you can really start to think about it. Now, funny thing in reading it is you can probably read through it and say, I have the same problems in government today that we had back then, and in some cases it's not a monarchy. I think there's a challenge in human nature sometimes, and we have to learn from that and hopefully make it better. And that's part of the reason why I kind of am trying to take on writing another book based on common sense, but for business. And in it, we'll also talk about society because we have to. It's part of the conversation. So convergence is a hot topic in PR and marketing circles. They like to think that PR and marketing are converging together. But I would make the case that convergence is a much bigger thing going on right now. It's really all our business silos are now coming together. It's PR, it's service, it's marketing, it's HR, it's even external business partners, it's employees, it's customers. It's all coming together as one. Partially because now people have information like they've never had before. They have access to all kinds of information, not just what you decide as a company to dictate outward. Think about Citi as a huge company. For those of you who do business with Citi, you don't think of us as Citi US or Citi India. You simply think of us as Citi. And that is an important distinction, how your customer even views your entity. Very difficult at times for us to be comfortable with. But the world's changed. The world is now more connected than ever, and they're connected globally across very different experiences. Even us as people, we're connected more globally. Today I have friends that span every continent of the globe. Why? Because social media has brought us together. The internet has made it much more possible. The world's changed, and we as a society need to change with it, and businesses need to figure out how to change with it as well. So convergence, no matter what a company says, in this world, it's your culture. It's how you make decisions. It's not what you say. Your commercial's meaningless. It's what my friends say about you. It is what I can easily Google and find out. The world's very different, and this is the challenge to it. And I would actually suggest, one of the things that companies say is, about culture change. I think there's a challenge to that as well, because in business, culture is made up of a lot of individuals with vastly different experiences, and that's what makes up that culture of your business. Unless you're going to get rid of everybody that works there and bring in a whole different set of people, they have different life experiences that are really going to impact them. And so part of it is respecting all that and finding ways to highlight it, not hide it, like we typically do. Now, often when I do presentations, people like to ask, what's the current state of social media? And it's kind of interesting because, a few years back, people be like, yeah, I have to have a Facebook page. I have to have 100 Facebook pages. Why? I don't understand that. The fact is, if you have a Facebook page today and you put a post in, and it's funny, in financial services, it will take a lot of people to approve one of those posts. Unless you have paid advertising dollars going with it, the post itself will reach close to zero. It doesn't matter how many fans you have as a company. Most Facebook pages today do not reach their audience unless you're doing paid advertising with it. Instagram and Snapchat and messaging apps are growing in popularity. To me, that's always interesting because it used to be, oh, people want to be public. Well, no, a lot of things they're doing now are more private than public. And, that's because not everybody wants their whole world to be public for everybody to see. Instagram, that surpassed Twitter to be one of the largest networks. It's things to think about. What was true before is going to be different tomorrow. That's going to continue to happen. Could become a time where we say, Facebook, what's that? Not anytime soon, probably. But ultimately, the rules change constantly and fast, very fast. Social networks are becoming more of a basic paid ad buy. If you want to be seen in social media, you have to be buying ads. That's it. Now, there's a challenge to that because I use social media. I don't care about your ads. Just like I fast forward them on commercials, I ignore them in digital. Just speaking honestly to you. The one challenge is businesses in everything they do, especially social media, have this ultimate goal to be the center of attention. And that's where they keep failing. They keep trying to be the center of attention instead of being one with the community. It's not being the center of the community, it's being one with. And so there's a challenge to that. Content. Now this is probably one of the big buzz terms currently in marketing and PR. Content, content, content. Content is king. We have to have content. Now, maybe a buzzword, but I'm not certain it is that important in the overall scheme of things. They say become a storyteller, and corporate blogs have cropped up everywhere, yet they're seeing less and less traffic than they ever did. Business content is often focused on the products of the business. And then they're saying, oh, they distribute everywhere. This is great. Take bad content, post it everywhere on the net because it's all about the eyeballs. But does it really bring results? I'm your customer. I don't care about your story. I care about me. I'm not in social media for you. I'm there for my family and friends, nothing more. If you want me to talk about your brand, you simply have to give me something that's worth me talking about. Add value to me. I'd probably talk about that. Create good experiences for me. I would talk about that. Oh, wait. You know what? Brands do give us stuff to talk about. Let me tell you about a door. Bought this door a few months back. Had it installed. I bought it from a company called Lowe's in the United States. It's a home improvement chain. The door was manufactured, had a manufacturer brand that was owned by Lowe's, so it was their own brand. Anyway, one day I noticed it bubbling, and so I sanded it down thinking it was the paint that was bubbling, and it turned out it was the door that was bubbling. So I immediately called the company to say, I have a problem. And the reaction was, oh, okay, well, there's not a problem with the installation, meaning I'd have to pay to have another door installed. And I have to contact the manufacturer, then they're going to send someone out to inspect it and decide if it's defective and what they would do about it. And then if you want, you can pay us to install it again. Whoa, time out. This door was installed by you. According to your brand, it was manufactured by you. So, what do you have to do? Call yourself to get it approved? No. So what did I do? I did what any of us would do. I posted a video to YouTube and then Twitter to them. Here, let's take a look. We purchased these beautiful doors from Lowe's, special order. But this one door here, if you look, we started noticing bubbling that appeared to be in the paint. So I sanded the paint down, and when I noticed the problem's not in the paint. It's right there in the door itself. The door is bubbling. So I still love the look of the doors, but certainly would not recommend at this point. So what's funny is I did this to highlight this. I did get a response from the company, and all of a sudden they're going to make sure that I get a new door in, and they're going to have it installed professionally, and they're going to take care of it. No problem. No one had to come out. They're even going to have the same installer come out because I like them and get it done. Oh, and what's funny, it took something like 8 weeks when I originally ordered the door, but now because I complained publicly about the company, now they're getting me the door in 2 weeks. Now that's a great message. So now I know, future reference, you want something sooner, complain about it on social media. Then you'll get it whenever you want. Not the right message these companies are sending, but they just don't get it. Now, I used to work for a cable company. In the United States, it's probably not the most well-liked company. And what's funny about this, I've been talking about improving customer experience for a long time, and I actually think they're trying to, but they've struggled with it, as many companies have. And it's even more interesting. As I was doing this video, I saw a blog post that they did. They're hiring more for their social media initiatives, for social media servicing. I'm not certain they were truly listening to what I was telling them. It wasn't about hiring more for social media. It was about fixing what was broken. Well, they've had some issues recently, and ABC News did a piece on it. And so I was part of it, and I figured I'd show you that piece. But I think it gets the message across, even if the company doesn't want to hear it.
And we turn now to a big apology tonight from a cable giant. A woman who spent months battling Comcast over service couldn't believe the words that showed up on her bill, and she is not the first customer to open the mail and find a derogatory word next to her name. ABC's Ron Claiborne has this story.
When Mary Bauer of Chicago got her latest Comcast cable bill, she was shocked. The envelope read, Mary Super B. Bauer.
I will not open it up because of what it says, Super B. Bauer, and my name is not that.
She says the abusive language was uncalled for.
Somebody's got to teach them how to be good and be kind to people.
In a statement to ABC's Chicago affiliate WLS, Comcast said, "We are continuing to investigate this thoroughly and have reached out to our customer to apologize and make it right." Comcast has already had to apologize before for another obscenely labeled bill, and it follows an embarrassing 20-minute conversation caught on tape last summer with a Comcast customer representative recorded by a customer named Ryan Block.
We'd like to disconnect, please.
Okay, so why is it that you don't want the faster speed? Help me understand why you don't want faster internet.
Help me understand why you can't just disconnect us.
Frank Elianson, a former Comcast customer service executive, is now speaking out, blaming a culture that fails to make customers a priority.
You know, they keep apologizing. You know what? It's not about apologies. It's about doing it right the first time.
Bauer says her complaints were ignored until she went public.
Customers should never need to have to go to the press or to social media or sending an email to the CEO to get the right service.
Eliasson believes Comcast really is trying to change. They're just not there yet. Ron Claiborne, ABC News, New York.
So, you see, companies are giving us something to talk about all over the place. Unfortunately, not usually good things. And that is the challenge. And we can laugh at these brands, but you know what? Every brand has opportunities. Because we don't think of things as a customer does. We think of things within our silos. We think of things within legal, marketing, customer service, operations, and it all gets out there. So one of the latest tactics companies are using is to try and be part of a dialogue, and sometimes a broader dialogue. Great example of that was Starbucks recently did a thing to try and get race relations, and so they called it Race Together, to start a dialogue about race. Not a bad idea of a dialogue to have. I think it's always good to talk about diversity and opinions and whatnot. But do you really need your coffee company being the one to drive that? I don't think so. Anyway, they had a fairly negative backlash, and then, as of the 22nd of March, they discontinued it. Now, they said that was the original end date. That seems really short because then it would have only lasted for a week or less. But anyway, the program's over. Didn't have that one worked into this, but I have a few others, so I figured I'd share those. It's all trying to get customers to talk about you. Here's a commercial from the Super Bowl of this year from McDonald's. So let's take a look and see if you love it.
Hi, welcome to McDonald's. How can I help you?
2 hash browns and a small coffee?
You know what, for your payment today, do you have your cell phone with you?
Yeah.
Dial up your mom, tell her you love her.
Excuse me? Hey, Mom. Just wanted to let you know that I love you.
Te quiero mucho.
How about you just tell me how much it is?
That is how much it is. Boom!
Your payment today will be telling me what you love about your son.
I love his compassion for other people.
The total says that she has to dance right now.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
That strawberry sundae's waiting on you.
For a strawberry sundae.
You paid with love, and that's all we need.
Your total is one big family hug.
Hi, welcome to McDonald's. How can I help you?
2 hash browns and a small coffee?
You know what, for your payment today, do you have your cell phone with you?
Yeah.
Dial up your mom, tell her you love her.
Excuse me? Hey, Mom. Just wanted to let you know that I love you.
Te quiero mucho.
How about you just tell me how much it is?
That is how much it is. Boom!
Your payment today will be telling me what you love about your son.
I love his compassion for other people.
The total says that she has to dance right now.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
That strawberry sundae's waiting on you.
For a strawberry sundae.
You paid with love, and that's all we need.
Your total is one big family hug.
So I'll have to admit, when I saw the commercial, I was loving it. I thought it was a great idea. People would talk about it, and I thought it was fairly positive. What can you say negative about this? And I didn't think it through, and I'm not certain the company thought it through either. The ones in the commercial were like things like call your mom and say you love her. That's nice, but what happens if your mother was dead and they said that to you? Didn't think of that at the time. But, it's not the perfect world. The Wall Street Journal, a reporter went in, she wanted to buy an Egg McMuffin, so she ordered her Egg McMuffin, and she was a winner. She just had to dance with someone in the place, get it for free. Her reaction was, no, I just want my Egg McMuffin. Here's your money. Just want my Egg McMuffin. I don't want to dance. You know what? And there's tons of these stories. People that were told that they needed to give a hug to someone in the restaurant and whatnot. You know what? Everybody's different. Not everybody wants to do these things. Not everybody wants to touch a stranger. It's that simple. It was great that they wanted to, stir or create a conversation and make it fun. And in some ways, it could be fun to some people, but others, it could be creepy. You have to respect where others are coming from. We all have different experience and different feelings towards these things. You have to embrace that. This ad campaign did not embrace it. What's also interesting is same-store sales for McDonald's for February, which is when this campaign ran, they were down. So even though it got a lot of dialogue, it didn't get any sales. And so, creating this conversation, good or bad, doesn't always impact the bottom line. Let's tell you about another campaign. This is about a good thing. They want to talk about safety and childhood safety. That is a great topic and so important to do. So they nationwide played this ad. So let me play this ad for you.
Hey, wait! Guys, wait! Wait! I'll never learn to ride a bike. Or get cooties. I'll never learn to fly. Or travel the world with my best friend. And I won't ever get married. I couldn't grow up because I died from an accident.
At Nationwide, we believe in protecting what matters most. Your kids. Together, we can make safe happen.
So this ad played during the Super Bowl, and a lot of people in the United States, the Super Bowl is a big event, and it's a party, parties everywhere. It's a very upbeat time. This commercial, for many of them, was a complete downer. It destroyed the mood of their parties, and so people were highly critical of Nationwide for, really pulling down the party atmosphere that they had. If you noticed in the commercial, there's a spot where it had cooties running. What was that done for? That was done to draw attention to kids into the ad. Well, parents didn't appreciate when the punchline of the ad was the child was dead. They didn't want to have that conversation with their child. They really didn't want to have that conversation with their child during the Super Bowl when they're trying to have fun. So for many people, it really just deflated the mood. It wasn't that people thought having a conversation about child safety wasn't important. It just, the commercial itself was in poor taste in their mind. So they thought it was poor taste. For me, it was personal. I want to introduce you to Gianna Rosie Elianson, Gia. She was born in 2000. She never learned to ride a bike or get cooties. She never learned to fly or travel the world with her best friend. She'll never get married. She didn't grow up. She died during liver transplant surgery in July of 2004. This is a commercial that was a reminder of a point for me that I think about all the time and constantly think about her. It hurt. I didn't need an insurance company to remind me of that. I didn't need an insurance company to make me feel that way. It was in poor taste on so many levels. So the company did respond, and here's a bit of their response. Preventable injuries around the home are the leading cause of childhood deaths in America. Most people don't know that. Nationwide ran an ad during the Super Bowl that started a fierce conversation. The sole purpose of this message was to start a conversation, not sell insurance. We want to build awareness of an issue that is near and dear to all of us, the safety and well-being of our children. We knew the ad would spur a variety of reactions. In fact, thousands of people visited us at Make Safe Happen, a new website to help educate parents and caregivers with information and resources in an effort to make their homes safer and avoid potential injury or death. Nationwide has been working for more than 60 years to make homes safer. While some do not care for the ad, we hope it served to begin a dialogue to make safe happen for children everywhere. This response showed they were not paying attention to anything people were telling them. No one had an issue with childhood safety. They had an issue specific with the ad. They didn't get into what people were feeling. They responded with a very legalese type response to what was really an emotional issue. It was horrible. And, it's kind of funny, because it came from a company who a few years ago did this ad, so that seemed to be so concerned about child safety. Here's an ad that they did about babies that's kind of funny.
In the nation, we know how you feel about your car. So when coverage really counts, count on Nationwide Insurance. Because what's precious to you is precious to us. Just another way we put members first. Because we don't have shareholders. Join the nation.
Nationwide is on your side.
But beyond that ad, the fact is, it's knowing your audience, it's knowing what's important to them, and knowing what will be important to get them as part of that. This was a company that wanted their brand to be associated to the conversation. Nothing more, nothing less. That is their problem. And that, to me, is where the problem is. They're trying to be the center of attention instead of being one with the community. If they're one with the community, they would have recognized what would be going on during that Super Bowl, and they would have not done an ad such as that. But they could have still stirred the conversation. And if they really wanted it to be more of a public service announcement, then why have your brand name associated to it at all? Just run the ad without your name associated to it if you think it's so important. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about customer experience. Experience is much deeper than just people, process, technology, which is how most companies look at it. We just went through things that were PR and marketing related, yet that's part of the customer experience. And the problem is when people look at customer experience, they more often than not think more about service, and they think more about technology and technology to basically drive costs down. That's not about customer experience. Customer experience is about everything you do. It's about the culture of your company and what you portray to the world. Almost everyone is a customer of some sort. You have to learn to think like a customer. So we have to shift our feelings on all this and understand these changes that are going on in the world. Often we are all about metrics, and we concentrate on those metrics, and you get whatever you measure. That's why, like in the service realm, they measure things like handle time. So no wonder customers can't stand dealing with companies. Why? Because we try and rush them off the phone. We're measuring the wrong things, but we're measuring the wrong things in almost everything we do. And human nature, we all want to do well at our jobs. So you tell me we're going to measure that? Well, I'm going to nail whatever that is. And if you're not measuring the right things, it's one of the things that happens often with experience. We measure things like Net Promoter Score. So then, what happens? You go to a place, and it happens in the United States at auto dealers all the time. If you get your car serviced, one of the first things the service people will tell you as you're leaving is, you're going to get a survey in the mail. And if you don't give us a 9 or a 10, you're going to take food off our table. Great, so now I feel guilty for giving you what I think you deserve. Surveys become meaningless because if that's your sole measure, people find ways to drive that behavior, not necessarily drive the experience that you want. We really have to work towards having the right culture in our organization so the right things are done. So you have to be thrilled by the opportunity in front of you. You have the opportunity to lead the way, seize it, but also respect what others bring to the table as well, even if you completely disagree with them, even in your personal life. We're in a much more global world than we ever were. We have to start understanding each other and understanding where each other's coming from instead of saying they don't know. So we have to understand that new world we're in. Customers have more information than ever, realize that, but we all have more information on anything. We have to start to embrace all of this. We have to make our customers the center of what they do. They will reward us, but we have to add value in their life. That's simple. Social media, it's about community. Stop trying to be the center of it. Be part of it. Be one with the community. And then guide your organization to be remarkable. And I'm not talking the remarkable from the examples that we just saw. I'm saying remarkable, give me as a customer something positive to talk about. That is the key. So let's end on the definition of remarkable. Worthy of attention, striking. Let's create remarkable experiences for our customers. Let's create a more remarkable world together. So I want to thank you, and I hope you had a bit of fun today, and looking forward to chatting with you further on these topics.